we'd like to move to Dr. Ikechi Agbugba, the agribusiness activist and researcher and university professor from South Africa.
Thank you very much, Mishma. And also thank you to Santosh. He has really worked hard. And thanks to, there's a lady, I'm looking out for her name, Apana. Apana's name is a bit familiar to me because I used to know Apana Akiraji, who used to correspond with me before I came to India in 2014. I am overwhelmed by the selection. I am overwhelmed by the hard work displayed by the team in choosing everyone, including myself. I know I have been working hard since I, came into this space of agriculture as a child. And I wish to appreciate my mother. She's not here, but she is, she's living. She's a retired university staff at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where she worked with my dad. My dad gave her the opportunity because she was also, amongst those who were recruiting, a man of character, of blessed memory. And you may not really understand why I'm taking out time to appreciate them. I really wish to appreciate all those teachers at the University Staff School, University Secondary School, University of Nigeria, from the GS to Department of Agricultural Economics, and also in South Africa at the University of Fort Hare, Professor Juruchukwu. I wish to appreciate Professor Anthony Achike. She is my, the second supervisor. She's leaving. The lead supervisor died some few years ago. And I have really been very passionate about transforming Africa's economy through the agriculture sector. And I think you can feel the energy from my voice. That's the way that I also do things around Africa. I have done a lot of works in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, and in the Northern African region as well. And I hope that this feather, I call it feather, being added to my cap, is for me to do more. It's to fan up my enthusiasm, to fan up my spirit and give me more drive to push harder. I wish to appreciate all those who have given us very beautiful comments from the US. I hope I will remember them. I know some have dropped out. Dr. Paolo, I appreciate you. Yes, please, if I don't mention your name, don't feel bad. Wendy is awesome. I think she's in the US as well. Where are they now? All these beautiful faces, I can't find them again. Anyway, I am really appreciative, Omar, and my fellow awardees and nominees and recipients for this great award. They are celebrating me, not funny enough, the people who are even celebrating me are not even my family. It's those that I've affected their life in one way or the other. I'm here in England. Last week, I was invited by the University of Sunderland to give a speech in their conference on the future of trade in Africa. And it was awesome. It was, a knowledge sharing session where I met lots of persons from South Africa, from the US, from all parts of Europe. And it was really amazing. Dr. Jones, Larry Jones, son was the one who spearheaded. And that platform was really, a veritable one that, offered me also the opportunity to sound what I normally sound to them about food, about nutrition, about agriculture, about agribusiness. And the word agribusiness activist did not come from anywhere. It came from within me. And my secondary school colleagues are asking me, why am I putting that word activist? I said, because I'm a food security expert and I am not just promoting that we should eat good food. We should not just eat good food, we should eat the right food. And, of course, the body needs it. And, the agribusiness is the business side of agriculture. We need to take agriculture more seriously here in Africa. We are encouraging that we have done well, very well in having, churned out leaders who have done their bits. But now, I will not spare them. I will not spare our people again. We must have to take the bull by the horn. It is now time. It's no longer business as usual. It has to be business in the new economy, business with technology advancements. So I really want to appreciate everyone. And I wish to say that we should always have integrity in what we are doing. I am originally Nigerian. And some persons feel that nothing good comes from that side of the country. But you can see that the woman DG at the WTO is championing that cause. She is a woman, she is a Nigerian, she is an African. And she also, is part of my life as well, because her family, we all started from the University of Nigeria as well, with Chinua Achebe, and which many of top persons of blessed memory who were in one way or the other contributed to what I am here. Even Zik of Africa. So some of you have heard of Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nnamdi Azikiwe was also one of those persons who, contributed to what I am today. We attended the same school with the children, and we had very good teachers then, very sacrificial, very kind, very disciplined, very dedicated, very determined, very dogged. We had them, I tell you. And you need to meet with some of us. I know, I really wish to give kudos to Chimamanda. We were also raised in the same environment. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, the famous writer. And she has really kept kept the fort. And she is inspiring a lot of us who are junior to her. But though we were in the same school at that time, seeing our elders coming up, and this is really awesome to meet with people that I have never met before, and that's part of the global leadership thing we are talking about. Being from having different colors, skin colors, having different, coming from different continents and the countries of the world, and yet we are sharing knowledge, yet we are peaceful, yet we are happy with each other, yet we are also saying the right thing at the same time. Yes, we are also allowing people to also grow and stepping aside when the time comes for the younger generation to emerge and take over from where we have stopped. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ikechi, and congratulations to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you are joining us from. Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade, or GCPIT, is proud to welcome you to this special interview series in connection with Global Emerging Leaders Awards 2022. I'm Aparna G. Kumar, the Global Co-Chairperson of GCPIT and your host for the show. Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade is an organization based in India, South Africa, US, UK, and UAE with board and council member representation across the world. We at GCPIT believe in fostering leadership across different levels. Recently, we have been reflecting on the significance of perspective in our role as leaders. When we advance from being an individual contributor to a leader, our perspective starts changing. We gain access to new information, have conversations with new people, and think about things in ways we didn't have to before. These changes, our learnings, have immense power, and we believe that this interview series will help us and many aspiring future leaders to gain new perspectives, especially global perspectives from these emerging leaders. Today, we have with us such a leader to tell us about his perspectives on leadership while leading his venture. We have with us Dr. Ikechi Agbugba, who is a Pan-Africanist and agribusiness activist, food security expert, and university professor. Since 2003, he has been carrying out researches on food and agricultural marketing, as well as agribusiness management. He proceeded to South Africa for his postdoc after earning his PhD in agricultural economics from the University of Nigeria in 2014. His postdoctoral research fellowship centered on smallholder agriculture under collaborative platforms of Agricultural Research Council and University of Fort Hare. He plays diverse leadership roles in a good number of international volunteer networking organizations in championing programs on transforming Africa's economy through the agriculture, education, and related sectors, either as a roving ambassador, professor, senior academic, researcher, senior advisor, technical advisor, advocator, coordinator, consultant, or director. Congratulations, Dr. Ikechi Agbugba, for being nominated for the Emerging Leaders Awards. We are proud to have you with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Apana. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And before we begin talking about leadership, I would like to hear from you. How did all this journey begin? And what is your background and what are you currently doing? Though I gave a short introduction, I would like to hear from you.
Okay, yeah. I think you've already introduced me properly, and I really thank you for that. Yeah, the whole journey started while I was a child, while I was still growing up with my parents, because I grew up in a university environment, a prestigious one, where my parents worked. So, and as the last child, my mother will always ask me to go to the farm to it, because she had a farm, and the farm was not that small. It ran, it was at the backyard of our house, but it actually ran by the side. And I remember him, employing people to come and, laborers to come and harvest, to come and cultivate the soil and make it ready for, planting. So she used to do that alone when I wasn't, grown up enough. So, but when I came, before my 10th year or so, I started to plant. She taught me how to plant. And so all that she was doing, teaching me how to sow maize seeds, plant cassava cottage. We have cassava in Africa. Cassava, maize, and rice are the major crops that thrive in Africa. And I knew how to plant all of those crops. And I remember also planting okra vegetable. And I knew also how to harvest them, even to rear livestock. Yes, we had a poultry. So when I was about to, choose my career, the whole, that also, made my decision to tilt towards the agriculture space. And today I have a PhD, and I applied for agricultural economics for my first degree, my master's, my PhD. And before I defended my PhD, I was in India. And that was early 2014. I arrived in India, and I was told that I will be defending my PhD. And that same week. So it disrupted my plans. So I had to take a quick flight from Hyderabad to Mumbai, from Mumbai back to my country, and I defended quite well. And after that, they were waiting for me to resume for my postdoc in South Africa, and that was, one of the great things that happened to my career, because I was exposed by a project by my very brilliant mentor, Professor Ajuruchukwuobi. His project actually invited me, and during that project, I had the opportunity to also travel to the US for the very first time. And it was a Farmer World Congress. And I never knew I would be moderating at that international session. It was very surprising to me. He believed so much in me. And I really want to use this medium to thank him again for all that he did for me. to launch me out in the international space. And I also wish to appreciate my parents. My parents were very instrumental. I have erudite parents, and they were always supportive. They were the ones who made that journey to India very successful. And yeah, family is quite good. And then coming into this leadership, playing leadership roles, I have to be very sincere with you. It's not easy. And I will give kudos to the Spirit of God, because it's actually that spirit that makes me to seem as if I am perfect. But when you meet a lot of people, and you know that you are supposed to be angry for something, but something is telling you, no, this is not it. Yeah, I'm not saying that I've been perfect all through. Yeah, but sometimes I have to shout, and you are also dealing with people from, diverse cultures, diverse, different nations outside of Africa. I didn't grow up here in Europe. I didn't grow up in England. I grew up in Africa, and I was made in Africa. So a lot of my colleagues and friends that had the same type of experience that I had cannot even be found in this type of space in the global form. So it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of decision. It takes a lot of discipline as well. So, and yeah, because why I'm saying this is because most persons who I know that have, been, in the leadership for this international, most of them came to do their postgraduate, outside of Africa. And, maybe Australia, maybe USA, maybe Europe, and sometimes Asia as well. And yeah, so, but for myself, it wasn't that like that.
That's an amazing journey. That's an amazing journey you just shared. And as somebody was mentioning in one of the interviews, that being a leader, we don't choose to be a leader. We are chosen. I totally agree with you, whatever you said. And if you had to pick up 4 or 5 words or short phrases to describe how a successful leader in a global environment operates, you have a wide exposure, you have traveled all across the globe. So how would they be?
Oh, do you mean features of a successful leader?
Yes, how a successful leader in a global environment operates or behaves.
Okay, yeah. Can I say that successful leadership touches on integrity? It touches on sincerity. It touches on, like I had mentioned, hard work. It touches on discipline as well. And it touches on having team spirit. Some persons may have this, but they don't have a team spirit. They don't like people. They don't really know how to function where people are. And successful leadership also touches on how to take, not to take no for an answer. Of course, that touches on determination. And maybe successful leader has to be educated. You have to be educated, well educated, and not even, the education may not really work if the person is exposed, enlightened, and knowledgeable on what he or she is in. And of course, you can get that in the space or in the platform or domain of education. And then, like, as an academic, it helps me to, to reach out to students, to reach out to colleagues who are also researching, because research has really launched me. My first international trip was to Malaysia. That was also sponsored by that same project from South Africa. Yeah, And it was an international conference on food and agricultural sciences. And during that conference, many things happened. I met a lot of persons from across Asian countries and even from Africa, within Africa, Egyptians, South Africans, and I even met a Nigerian woman who lives in South Africa. And I was, and one striking thing that happened was during my presentation, I traveled with okra, ladies' finger fruits. So I went with it to Malaysia for that presentation. And after the presentation, I remember that the lady from Sri Lanka was happy. She said, "Oh, we grow okra in my country." And the Nigerian lady said, "No, I have to go with this okra that you came with because I have to make soup with it." I said, "Oh, no problem." And I was free and they were very excited. Persons from Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, India, Bangladesh. Oh my God, it was very, and it was very, memorable. When I look back, I feel so happy whenever I think about that conference. And, and when I also think about how I came for that conference, it's really a testimony because I never paid for that journey. It was all sponsored by people I do not even know. One of my mentors, who is a white American, Dr. Henry Barr, he covered my registration fee. He's retired from the United States Department of Agriculture. And I want to use this also platform to really appreciate him. Somebody that you don't know, and you are sponsoring him. He wrote a recommendation for me on LinkedIn. And that man was the one who took me to the White House for the very first time in my life in 2018. I met him physically. And it was after many years. And up till now, he still keeps in touch with me. He sends me his family pictures. Oh, that is something that many people cannot do. And then for Professor Obi himself, who also covered my transport fee with the, writing the South African government and, letting them know that there is a resource who is coming to also grow their economy. And that was how I was able to have that first international trip, after which I traveled to India. Then I lived in South Africa and then to America and then, to all over the world. Now I'm in Europe, in UK. And and now, I am also being recognized as a global leader. I think it's something really encouraging. It's something that will spur me to not to look back. It's something that will also spur me to, to also believe that there is something in me which I may not have recognized very well, but I need to take note of that and also try to work on that strength of me and then try to look at the weaknesses of me and then kill it, possibly kill my weaknesses.
What you said is absolutely right. Many of the times we don't recognize our value. It is from how others treat us, we understand our value. And I really love how you are expressing the gratitude to the people who touched your lives. That is what makes a great leader, I believe. And now my next question would be, how would you describe the differences in the organization culture between a global environment and a more local or regional environment?
How I would describe the global environment, trying to connect to the local environment, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, the global environment is a very complex environment. It's an environment that is diversified. You see diversity, cultural diversity, multi-diversity. I hope that's not tautology, but I know there's multi-ethnic, multiracial, multicultural aspects in people. You meet people who are, you need to be conscious of the cultures. You also multilingual. Yeah, and it's a very exciting place as well. When you, because you have your own culture, you are part of the globe, the global world or the global village. So, coming out, you also have to be conscious of the fact that people are, some of them also feel like, feel the way you feel. They are also happy to meet you. Like when I was traveling recently, an Indian man, an elderly Indian man was sitting beside me by my left, and an elderly British man was sitting by my right. So I was sandwiched by these two notable personalities. And of course, I have always been with elderly people right from childhood. I joined the choir while I was small at the university. So that also made me, and the choir was comprised of, not just students, also staff who were mature in age. So there was a time I was the youngest before the other, I set the pace for the young people to join the choir then. And so I'm just trying to say that we, in the global village, one has to be careful because there are things that you do that may not be acceptable. There are things that you do in back home, in your country, your home country, that may not be acceptable in the other country. And of course, where I come from, we are free-minded. I speak my language very well, and I have heard people from outside of my tribe and ethnic group tell me that the way you speak your language is different from the way I've heard other people speak. You speak it very well. I said, yes, because I had good, I had an erudite parentage. I have an erudite parentage. My dad, of blessed memory, he studied in Dublin, in Ireland. So, and then he was a very tough